Hello, guys, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. It could have been a historic day today with Wiaan Mulder scoring 400 and making the world record of highest score in an innings by a batsman. But it wasn't to be because Wiaan Mulder said a legend like Brian Charles Lara should have this record and not me. He discussed with his coach Shukri Conrad and who advised him this is enough. You have crossed your mentor's Hashim Amla's record. You are now the highest scoring South African. And let's have a bowl. And I guess every one in the world got tuned to this game going on in Bulawayo to see what is going to happen after the lunch break. Wiaan Mulder went to the lunch break at 367 not out, and everybody just tuned in, and they were surprised to see the declaration. As for India, I can say that the streaming website Fan Code, it charges like a 20 rupees per game, and I think they must have earned a lot during the lunch break. People would have been just paying 20 rupees to see this game, and nobody actually saw it. So it was quite funny. And there was a poll on ESPN Cricket Info that whether Wiaan Mulder should have gone for the record, and 81% of the people said that yes, it was right there. Why didn't you do it, Wiaan? What happened? Wiaan would have been equal to Brian, but Wiaan respected Brian too much and just let him have the record. And I think does Wiaan Mulder hate England a lot because he also emphasized that Brian Lara 400 against England, that record should stand. So he emphasized the word against England a lot there while speaking to Sean Pollock during the interview. And it is just, poetic. That's why cricket is so great. We have seen in past like Michael Clarke and Mark Taylor respecting their idol Don Bradman's record and just stopping at below 334. Well, David Warner and Matthew Eden didn't care so much about that, but 334 was an iconic figure in Australia's cricket history because Don Bradman had got it versus England, and they didn't want to cross it. So Michael Clarke even had a lot of time versus India, and Mark Taylor had a lot of time versus Pakistan, but they did not cross that mark. And I think Wiaan Mulder has shown something similar nature. He did not cross that mark. And looking at the innings, like I was also watching Brian Lara's highlights of Brian Lara's 400, and how Brian Lara initially just took his time and then absolutely exploded at the end, just cutting loose. One of the things that Brian Lara and Wiaan Mulder have in common is that ferocious pull shot, the pull shot that is like a slog pull to mid wicket. That is, I found something common between these two batters. They also have a good offside drive, which Brian Lara had a lot of flair while playing to it. Wiaan Mulder not so much, but yes, Wiaan Mulder was in fact both of these big scores were scored from the number 3 positions, and in fact Wiaan Mulder was handed over this position during the most important match, which is the WTC final, where he fared well enough. He didn't make a great impact, but he had an impact in the second innings where he stabilized the South Africa chase, and he has been growing in stature in world cricket. He was also selected for IPL this year, but most importantly in Test cricket, he was instrumental in a series win in Bangladesh. It's always alien conditions in Bangladesh for a South African, but doing well there. He should have got the player of the series there, but that's okay. For this match, Keshav Maharaj had a groin strain and he was given the captaincy. So there is no one to blame for. I mean, if something like this would have happened in India, you probably would have the Prime Minister and the whole cabinet involved. The natural questions that comes are, why didn't coach just force him, just stay there, Wiaan, just get your 400. Some of the other natural questions that come is the team should have just protested and told him, no, we're not going to feel Wiaan. You've got to get to that 400 mark. And him being the captain, I think that the decision lied on him, and he decided to declare. But yeah, Brian Lara's 400 was of 582 balls, but Wiaan Mulder, the way he absolutely dispatched this admittedly weak bowling attack. I say, see, Zimbabwe has competed well in England. They have competed well in the first test match, but I think this bowling attack was significantly weaker. Of course, Richard Ngarawa is not playing this test match. Sikandar Raza also has decided not to play test cricket for some weird reason that I don't know. He obviously is captaining a team in the Major League Cricket. But Matigamu was the new bowler who had come in, and his bowling action didn't look like he was going to be threatening. Tanaka Chavanga, he was the only bowler who actually looked threatening. He picked the first 2 wickets also. And apart from that, I think Wellington Masakadza, the left arm slow spinner, left arm conventional spinner, he was the only one who was looking a bit threatening at least. But I think Wiaan Mulder started his innings. So the first 100 he got in 116 balls. The second 100 he got in 98 balls. The third 100 he got it in 85 balls. And all the while forming these important partnerships, first with Luandre Pretorius, be it the next one was with Devold Brevis, and in the end with Kyle Verena. So he formed these little partnerships, and that led to, so there was a lot of time in hand actually, and they only played 4 sessions and they scored 626 runs. In fact, in this third session yesterday, they scored 222 runs, and Wiaan Mulder himself scored 130 runs. He absolutely smashed Zimbabwean attack at Bulawayo Queen's Club to all parts, and today he scored 103 in the morning session. So he's actually scored 244 runs in 2 sessions, and many teams cannot score that much. Like if he would have just faced all the balls, you never know what he would have scored. He scored 244 runs in 2 sessions. The entire South Africans team scored around 360 runs in these 2 sessions, and it was total dominance from Wiaan Mulder. But the question still lies, why didn't he go for it, man? And comparing it to Brian Lara, I mean, that attack of England was much stronger. Obviously, Brian Lara took 582 balls, but that England attack was much superior. It had Stephen Harmison, it had Matthew Hoggard, it had Michael Vaughan, it had Gareth Batty. So many English players who actually went on to win the Ashes next year. I think Simon Jones was there as well. So Michael Vaughan bowled his off spinner. Oh, it was great to see Michael Vaughan's long face while he was bowling to Brian Lara in 370s or something. And really amazing. We got to see the Prince of Trinidad's celebration when he crossed Matthew Eden and reclaimed his world record. Oh, what epic moments they were. And I just love this day, because I also hate it, because I feel that Wiaan Mulder should have gone on to make the 400, because cricket evolves, and he said, okay, credit to him for doing what he did for Lara, but I think if you had enough time, you could have pushed more, you could have got more runs. You bowled out Zimbabwe for 170. Sean Williams, their main batter, was not well, and he came at 7 down and scored a brilliant 83 of 55. I mean, if he was not well and batting like that, what would have happened if he was not sick? I don't know, but yeah, man, he has been another revelation. Like, he's been going in the 20th year of his career. He's been just going strong. Scored us 100, made Zimbabwe compete in England, made Zimbabwe compete in the first test match, and he's been amazing. But yeah, I mean, Mulder also picked 2 wickets, so he could have actually become one of the first to maybe score 300 and also pick wickets in a test match. But yeah, man. Ultimately, I just don't know what to say. I don't know who are the 19% of the people who say that Wiaan Mulder should not have gone for the record. 13% of them say it's a vain record, so it doesn't matter. I think they are just Brian Lara bots, the bots which have been hired by Brian Lara, or maybe my viewers from the Caribbean, are they you? Are they you? Are you voting for it's a vain record? I'm sure you don't think like that. You may be voting that, but yeah, man, it was an amazing day and just says a lot about cricket history because Brian Lara is our childhood hero, the Prince of Trinidad. Seeing him and Ridley Jacobs, just making that big partnership in Antigua Recreation Ground versus England, having partnerships with Chris Gale, Ram Naresh Sarwan, then big partnership with Ridley Jacobs. It was amazing to see the highlights of that game, and of course, I mean, it's sad that I think he should have gone for it. He should have probably gone for it, seeing just the logic and seeing it objectively without any emotions. With the emotions that I didn't know he had towards Brian Lara, towards that legendary status of Brian Lara, and maybe some dislike of England. Apart from that, taking out those factors, I think he should have just gone for it, and that's what 81% of the people also say he should have just gone for it because there's too much time in the game, and Zimbabwean batting is second string right now. I mean, Dion Myers is making a comeback after a long time. The other batsmen haven't fared well, so he could have just gone for it, and there was still enough time in the game. This game is going to end tomorrow. South Africa just need 9 wickets, and their attack is potent enough, even with a lot of debutants. Cody Yusuf has made his debut in this series. Then you have Senuran, Muthuswamy, Subarayan also made his debut and picked up 3 for in this game. So I think they had enough resources and enough time in their hands, and this 400 would have just taken 4 or 5 overs at max. But for the emotional value and for being a good student of the history of cricket, I would like to also appreciate Shukri Conrad and Wiaan Mulder, and respecting the Prince of Trinidad and his record. And Wiaan Mulder says that if I get a chance again, I would probably do the same. So, I mean, okay, if Wiaan Mulder feels that he's not a legend and he's not a legend and he probably doesn't deserve to have that 100 plus, it will devalue the score because it came against a very weak Zimbabwe side. So if he feels that, then it's a different matter. But what would so I think in the end, cricket is a gentleman's game, and people value history. People are good students. They know a lot of facts. Just like the Caribbean fans, just like the real fans in South African. And Wiaan Mulder also said that he was singing an African song throughout his innings and singing it very loud whenever he got stuck. He played a chanceless knock. I mean, it was brilliant to see. He kept singing that African song and just hitting out the bowlers. One shot that I think Brian Lara also played and Wiaan Mulder also played was that loft over the extra cover. I think Brian Lara played it to the off spinner, and here we saw that Wiaan Mulder played it to the slow left arm spinner, Wellington Massachusetts, and that loft over covers. It was a special silky shot today. Overall, I thought the flicks on the leg side were just beautiful. The pulls, they were quite aggressive. They were on the verge of being called slogs. In the initial period, he took his time and scored on the offside mostly. Some straight drives were delectable to watch. But obviously, after watching Brian Lara's innings, I've already forgotten Wiaan Mulder's innings. I mean, that was such a brilliant knock. And even the batting by Ridley Jacobs, who got out on a no ball of Michael Vaughan, and to see his sorry long face, it just kicked in a lot of memories of watching a late night Caribbean cricket in my early childhood. So thankful to this moment, and I thought it was going to be a dull day today with no cricket, because Australia have wrapped up the series in Grenada, and also India. Uh, England Test match finished last night, but Wiaan Mulder has given me something to talk about cricket on a boring Monday, and wow, what an achievement, Wiaan Mulder! Congratulations on an epic innings, and Hashim Amla would be proud, the Lions coach who was the mentor of Wiaan Mulder, and amazing. Thank you guys for watching our channel Cricket Caviar, and please do let us know in the comments the big question: should Wiaan Mulder have gone for it, or should he have not? Was his decision right in the end? What do you guys make of it? Please let me know in the comments, and please do subscribe my channel Cricket Caviar. Thank you guys. Good night.